everybody, Tony D and little Joan here with a breakdown of the stimulus bill. Am I recording here? Yeah, I am. Okay. This is Zero Hedges breakdown. And these guys, when it comes to economics, these guys are like the economic geeks. They know everything. So everybody's getting a stimulus check worth $600 per individual per household making less than $75K or $150K for married couples and gradually phases out higher incomes. I don't know why you would do this. $600 is nothing. I mean, it might as well just be fun money at this point. And considering what it's costing us to get $600, I mean, what's the point? Rent is higher than $600 in most places. With $600, I could probably pay. I think I could just about pay all my bills for the month. Not food, but all the other bills, and not rent. And quite frankly, this year, I don't need the money. I went back to work. I got a day gig. I got it right before the virus to make some extra money, and thank God I did. And, if I get this check before the end of the year, it's going to screw up all my taxes. I'm going to probably have to blow it in order not to be over the threshold for my health care. So, for me, I don't even want the damn check. I would have rather had a tax break and gotten it that way. Instead, they're giving us $600, and then we're going to have to pay taxes on the $600. That makes 0 cents. 0 cents. I already got too much in unemployment this year. I mean, my taxes are just going to be a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. And I may lose my healthcare benefits because I got too much money this year. I'm trying to spend enough so I have enough write-offs, with my writing, my videos and everything. I don't know if I spent enough. I honestly don't. And if I end up with too much money, according to the government, I'll lose my health care, and then I'm going to have to come up with way more money next year. Like, way more. Because I have to completely pay my own health care. And that's, it's going from paying nothing to paying at least $6 or $7 grand a year, which I don't have. If it jumped from paying nothing to a couple of grand, I could probably afford that. But $6-7 grand, no. That'll wipe me out for all of next year. Assuming I'm even working next year under a lockdown for 100 days. These guys in government have no idea what they're doing. Government breaks your legs and then hands you crutches and say, see, I solved your problem. So, $325 billion will go to small business support, including $284 billion for a second round of PPP grants. The bill allows for businesses to deduct expenses paid with the first round of loans, which the Treasury had previously disallowed, i.e. a double dip. With around $525 billion in forgivable PPP loans issued and more coming. This looks like likely to reduce tax receipts by tens of billions and possibly more than $100 billion, though it depends on the profitability of the business that received the loans. While in New Jersey, it won't matter because almost every small business is being run out of town, thanks to the lockdowns and the rules that keep changing and the unbelievable indecision coming from our state government. Yeah, you're screwed. If I had a small business, I would have just closed it. I would have just closed it and sold it. In years past, I toyed with the idea of opening a comic book store, and now I thank God every day I didn't do that. Because if I had spent the last 30 years building up a comic book business, I would be done now. I'd be done. comic books were in the toilet anyway, I would have been struggling, and then this hits, and then I can't even open and recover. No way. No way I survive. 69 million, or billion, excuse me, million. 69 billion for vaccines, testing, and tracing. 45 billion for transportation, 26 billion for nutrition and agriculture, 25 billion for rental assistance. That seems low. 82 billion for schools. Explain to me why we have to give money to schools. Schools have been closed. They were closed for months and months. You know what you don't have to buy if everybody's home from school? You don't have to open your cafeteria. And you don't have to buy any of the food that you would normally serve. Shouldn't they have saved tens of thousands of dollars? Shouldn't they have saved tens of thousands of dollars on the staff that would have been in the school? The janitors, the lunch ladies. Not that I want to see them out on the street, but they wouldn't be working at the school. Did they pay them all the time? Are they just getting paid for doing nothing? If so, I wish I'd taken those gigs. I mean, it sounds to me like you wouldn't need to pay those people. At least for months at a time, at least for the end of last year. Like from April all the way to the end of the school year, basically. And most of the beginning of this year. Some schools are still locked down. Where is the freaking savings? Where's the savings here? You telling me they ran the air conditioners all through the summer? No. They would have just shut them off, right? Didn't they save any money doing this? 12 billion support for small banks that serve low-income and minority communities. Okay, I guess. I mean, small banks, why would they need extra money? Like, shouldn't they have the money in the bank to serve their communities? Oh, right. I forgot. Our wacky banking system allows you to loan 90% of your assets. 10 billion for childcare. I don't know how that works. 7 billion for broadband? What? 120 billion for unemployment benefits. I guess they're giving you another $300 a week, and thereby giving you more money if you're out of work, if you have a minimum wage gig, thereby incentivizing the reason that nobody wants to go back to work. I know people, at least in the first round, they were making more money being out of work than in work. I know a guy who made, because he collected his entire run of unemployment benefits, he made 10 grand. And then he ran them out and he never came back. Which I don't blame him. Direct checks. The $600, $166 billion. But we have to pay for everything. We're not just paying for that. Airlines get money. Oh yeah, the great airlines. You know, those guys don't deserve a dime. Tens of thousands of airline employees would get their jobs back at least for a few months under the new bill, which includes $15 billion to cover airline salaries and benefits through the end of March. What the hell are you subsidizing these guys for? The bill also includes $1 billion for airline contractor payrolls. Airlines received $25 billion under the CARES Act in the spring to cover workers' pays and benefits. These guys didn't even pay their workers a decent wage. They weren't paying the pilots a decent wage. Now you're handing them money to pay their employees? Why don't you just let them go out of business? Maybe somebody else will build a better airline. Oh, banks. Bill would provide $12 billion in support for small lenders focused on low-income minority communion. Who's going to take a loan out in this situation? Biden's coming into office, supposedly, and going to close down the country for 100 days. Who's going to open a business? Why would you take a loan out then? There's no way you could take out a loan. You don't know what's going to happen. I was just looking at comic book conventions for next year, and there's a group that they're having a 3-day show in January, and I'm thinking like, well, should I do it? And then I thought, who the hell's going to come out? Are they going to lock it all down? They want $250 for a booth. That's a lot of money for me. I can't afford that. I don't pay for tables anyway. Entertainment venues. Oh yeah, that you can't go to. The bill has $15 billion for independent movie theaters, live entertainment venues, and cultural institutions. Why? You can't go to any of them. At least in New Jersey, you can't really go. I mean, again, aren't they saving money by closing down? Why are you collecting taxes from these people? Farms. Okay, farms. Yeah, they're important. I mean, they already got tons of subsidies, but why the hell not? $13 billion to crop farmers, cattle ranchers, and rural communities. Rail and transit. $1 billion in relief funds to Amtrak, who failed Amtrak, aimed at helping the National Passenger Railroad. They already give the railroads money here. They're not profitable. They're absolutely not profitable. According to what I know. Okay? And maybe I don't know everything, but this is what I heard. The trains have never been profitable. They can't make them profitable. Small businesses, those guys need money. Yeah, they should get money. U.S. Postal Service, yeah, they kind of need some money, but they're sitting on a huge pension fund because of, I don't know, something that went back and forth at Congress where the Republicans were trying to get the post office to close, and they ended up funding the pension program to the tune of like $75 billion or some ridiculous amount. Taxes, extended tax breaks or credit for struggling employers. They're all struggling, thanks to you idiots. What else? Oh, I got a list over here. This is some of the domestic funding. This is according to Luke at We Are Change. The Kennedy Center gets $26,400,000. Yeah. Because, you know, the Kennedys, they don't have much money. You know, all the famous celebrities and millionaires who have gotten awards, yeah, they don't have enough money to come up with $26 million between them. No, those poor people, they're just scraping by in their multi-million-dollar mansions. The Smithsonian gets $1 billion. That, okay. The Smithsonian's important. That is government run. We need the Smithsonian. That one I'm okay with. The National Art Gallery, $154 million, probably needs it. National Art and Humanities, $167 million. W. Wilson Center, $14 million. I don't know what that is. But all these foreign countries shouldn't get a dime. Doesn't matter. Egypt, $1.3 billion. We buy their government every year. Stop giving them money. They're not a democracy. Why are we giving them money? Why would we need to give them money? Don't give them money. You're basically bribing them not to attack Israel. That's what it is. The Sudan, $700 million. I don't know why we're giving them money. Probably to keep people from starving. The Ukraine, $453 million. That's, you know, some of that is debatable because they fell into rough times, but it's basically a bribe. They're trying to draw them into NATO and keep them out of the Russian circle. It's dumb. $500 million to Israel. Totally unnecessary. The Israelis are chugging right along. They're fine. They don't need the money. They really don't. Israel's fine. They've got industry. They've got all the military might they need. They've got nuclear weapons. No one can touch them. Israel is fine. They don't need $500 million. They just don't need it. Why do you keep giving them money? Nepal. Now they're poor. Poorish. $130 million. Maybe. Burma. 135 million. Maybe Cambodia, 85 million. I don't know. Pakistan, 25 million. Why? It's probably a straight up bribe. Asia RIA. I'm not sure what that is. 1.4 billion. If China sees a dime of it, stop it. It's probably a big waste of money. And we get $600. Whoop-de-doo, Tarantula Town, $600. It's not going to do much. You know, it's going to keep some people alive, assuming they haven't been kicked out on the street already. But $600, I mean, how far does it go? Not that far. Not that far these days. You know, like I said, for me, I got a low overhead. It would just pay my bills if I didn't count food and I didn't count rent. Like the other bills it would pay. Okay. That's not, you know, for a stimulus package, it's supposed to keep me going for, it's not even a month. It's not even a month. You know, you'd have to give me, I mean, I have a pretty low overhead. So, you know, something in the neighborhood of like $2,000. But, you know, this is I would like to see Trump veto this. He won't. Trump spends big. It's his weakness. It's his one weakness. Trump spends too much money. I've always said it. You know, I still would vote for Trump. I still want Trump to be president, but when it comes to spending money, now Trump doesn't want some of this. I'm sure he definitely doesn't want the Kennedy Center stuff. A lot of this foreign stuff, yeah, he'd sign off on it. Definitely for Israel, and definitely for Egypt. Most presidents would. The other stuff I'm not too sure on, but you know, Trump's a big spender, boy. You know, but at least with Trump, he kind of knows what he's doing overall, and he did get the economy booming. Not because of this kind of crap, but because of other moves he made, mostly because he stripped regulations, gave everybody a tax break. Now that stuff's all going away. And Biden's just going to keep dropping money on people. And just keep the printing presses going nonstop. Where do you think this leads? It will break the U.S. dollar eventually. I mean, we libertarians have been calling for that for a long time, long before this. Something like 35% of U.S. dollars have been printed. All of them, you know, 35% of all the U.S. dollars in circulation have been printed just in the last few years. That's pretty frightening. Yeah. We're devaluing our currency. You're going to see prices go up. I'm already seeing it on a local level. Prices are just going to go up, up, up. Yeah, you're going to have more money. Yeah, minimum wage is going up in New Jersey every year until it gets to it goes up $1 an hour every year until it gets to $15 an hour. It's another thing that's going to tank the economy here. Everything, all the prices will go up. People will lose their jobs because they don't, you know, it's just going to be too much money. Minimum wage jobs, most minimum wage jobs, you don't do enough work to justify your labor at that rate. So, you know, they'll replace McDonald's workers with kiosks and other people with robots, and their jobs will just go away. Or they'll just fire one guy and make the other remaining two pick up the slack. That's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. You save $15 an hour, and you can pay the other two. Maybe even give them a raise, but they're going to be working their butts off. Yeah, see, Joan's very upset. It's just simple math, people. There's not enough money here. It's just not enough money. Joan's very upset. She's a very sensitive dog when it comes to economics. Right, Joan? Right, Joan? All right, that's it for us tonight. Don't forget to check out Rumble, BitChute. See me on other platforms. And as always, check out my books. The Pineys, book 5 is out, 1 to 5. And also Hollywoke, another novel, is also out, sequel to Wokistan. You can get them in time for Christmas, I think. Check your Amazon listing. And we will see you tomorrow. Excuse me.